in 5. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Alumni Stadium here in Perry, Ohio. It's WKYC's high school football game of the week. And tonight we greet you from Lake County in what should be an absolutely entertaining matchup between two great rivals, the Riverside Beavers and the Perry Pirates. I'm Dave DiNatale, so happy to have you with us here tonight. It's a beautiful evening. I mean, like we had last week when we were down in Brunswick, temperatures in the mid to high 60s, but here in Perry, there's a bit of a wind. We're not that far from the lake, and it's a cool evening, but it's perfect for football. And the seniors are getting honored here at Perry here as we speak. We're about to have the anthem in a couple of moments, and then brace yourselves, as we wrote here on WKYC.com, brace yourselves for what could be an absolutely explosive shootout if history is any indication. These two teams are both 2-0 coming into tonight's game. Both really had relatively easy times of it in their first two games, but tonight probably won't be that way for either team. Riverside and Perry met here at Alumni Stadium 1 year ago. Actually, it was in August of 2019 to be precise, and proceeded to put on a record-setting shootout. The two teams combined for 117 points, nearly 1,000 yards of total offense, and ended up being 63-54 the final in favor of the Pirates. Again, will we see that kind of scoring tonight? Probably not, but we've certainly seen stranger things. But you can expect with these two teams, the way they like to move the football, the coaches, Matt Rosati from the Perry Pirates, Dave Boers from Riverside, two entertaining coaches when you have a chance to have conversations with them. And you sit there and you go, well, anything's possible. No, certainly anything is possible. But just give you kind of a scouting report of these two teams. Let's start first with the Pirates. And, we mentioned last year they had the 63 points when these two teams played. Well, they had a quarterback who threw a school record, and actually tied a state record, 9 touchdown passes at Drew Story. He's not back this year. They were going with a freshman, Brayden Richards, and Richards got off to a terrific start in the first 2 weeks of the season. He threw 11 of 14 for 191 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks. And this is a freshman. I mean, that's well done. But elbow injury suffered in practice. They're going to go with a junior tonight, Jacob Caldwell, and they like Caldwell. And he's been efficient running the offense so far, 6 of 10 for 119 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. So it maybe not be the running quarterback necessarily, at least he hasn't been to this point, but he knows how to manage the offense and how to not make mistakes. And with the Perry Pirates and the ability to run the football, you don't need to necessarily put up, lightning numbers. You just need to be able to not make mistakes. Jayden Anderson's the guy to watch tonight. We're going to call his name early. We'll call him often. He's a young man who is on his way to West Virginia. He's a commit for the Mountaineers. That's 2 straight weeks, by the way. We've seen Mountaineer commits. And you think about it, last week we saw Tomas Rymack from Brunswick, that left tackle. He eventually could be the lead blocker for Anderson to spring him loose and really make it a lot of fun for the Mountaineers. So let's get now. We have a moment of silence for September 11th and the victims of 9/11, and then get to the anthem.
Men and women in New York City, Arlington, Virginia, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. At this time, may we all pause a moment for a moment of silence and remembrance of those lost on this day in 2001. Thank you. Please remain standing for our national anthem.
National anthem being played here at Alumni Stadium in Perry. The flag in the south end zone at half staff. It probably would have been anyway today on Patriot Day, September 11th. But by order of Governor Mike DeWine in honor of Detective James Skirnovitz, the Cleveland police detective who was killed a week ago and who had his funeral earlier today, flags are at half staff throughout today across the state of Ohio. So the two teams are going to start making their way onto the field. The Riverside Beavers, we saw them 2 years ago in the regular season finale of our game of the week. They were out. Actually, they played host to Mayfield in what was a wet night, as I remember, but it was an entertaining night. And the Beavers ended up making the playoffs that season. Last year, not as fortunate for Dave Boers and company. They finished out at 4-6, but they really feel like the core, they graduated a lot of seniors after 2018. They really do feel like they've got the right mix of returning players and youngsters on this roster now that they feel like they're ready to go back. And obviously everybody's going to the playoffs this year, but they feel like they could be a team that could make a run and have a sustained edge this year in the playoffs. Now, with the Riverside, they will have a quarterback that can do a little bit of everything in Dom Lulo. We remember seeing a little bit of him 2 years ago, but he's the starter now, 5'8", 175 pounds. So far this year, he's only been about 50% with his passing, 20 out of 40, but he's thrown for 331 yards, 4 touchdowns. On the ground, he's averaged close to 7 yards per carry, 177 on the ground, and a couple of touchdowns. And they'll go to Cayman Locher quite a bit. Dominic Trombo will see in action. And remember seeing him a little bit 2 years ago, James Bruno, a wide receiver, who is also a threat in the jet sweeps. So they may run to him quite a few times as well. But it's a receiving core that they feel good about. And they also really like their offensive line. They've got Nick Messenger up there, 265-pounder. Matt Watson, a 270-pounder. We'll be talking about those guys on defense as well. And Dylan Yowell, the center, who's a 285-pounder. So that's kind of the tail of the tape here between these two teams. They've, again, had a fairly easy go of it in both cases to get to this point at 2-0. But, you know, you almost feel like, you know, the atmosphere here, it's like, okay, now this, you know, not that those opponents, I'm not saying they were scrimmage opponents or preseason opponents, but now it's real here. You're back, you're playing against one of your rivals. And now it gets a little bit upgraded here as these two teams get ready to go to work. As we will get situated. By the way, just observations. First time I have ever been to Alumni Stadium. First time I think I've ever called a Perry game. This is one of the top facilities anywhere in Northeast Ohio. They absolutely do it up right here. The field turf is in great shape with a track. This is just a tremendous facility. And they take good care of you here too. We certainly appreciate that. All right, so Perry will kick it off to start the game. Calvin Rowan has it teed up. The Pirates and the Beavers set to go from Alumni Stadium here on our game of the week. Kick is angled to the right and caught at the 16-yard line. That's McKnight going to the 20, runs left to the 25, and he'll be put down at that particular point. Colin Koenig amongst those down there on the tackle. So Dom Lulo will start at quarterback. James Bruno, Jamir Francis, Mason Stevens, Caden Tinner are all the wide receivers. Cayman Locher running back. Matt Watson, Ryan Hafer, Dylan Yowell, Nick Messenger, and Alex Sy are your offensive linemen. Dave Boers, the head coach of the Beavers in his 11th year, trying to get his team back to the playoffs after a disappointing 2019 campaign. When I said they're actually going back there, but really back to over 500, back to where they feel like this program should be. From the 25, it's a 1st and 10 now for Riverside as they will begin Lulo gets that snap. He'll go on the ground. That's Locher getting it out to the 26-yard line, only about a yard or so. And he is put down at that point. Tyler Croyle from his linebacker spot makes the stop for the Pirates. Pirates go out of the 3-4. Bryce Harper, Tommy Jackson, and Jeffrey Harris up front. Tyler Croyle, Nathan Smith, Jamir Richards, and Colin Koenig are your linebackers. Brian Cox, Colin Grebnak, Desmond Malone, and Brock Sivon are your defensive backs. 2nd down and 8. Lulo looks to throw, has time. Now he's flushed, rolling right, looking, throwing, and pass incomplete. Threw it behind, because remember, he was on the run down on the right sideline. That pass was intended for Mason Stevens. And that will set up a 3rd and 8 here for Riverside. Brock Savon was out there on the coverage. Savon already has a pick this year. Colin Koenig has been their leader as far as sacks goes. He has 1.5 sacks, 2.5 TFLs. 3rd and 8, Lulo rolls right, has time, throws, and this time he makes the connection with Stevens for a 1st down as Mason Stevens makes the rolling catch at the 48-yard line of the Beavers. It's a gain of 21 and a 1st down. Much more accurate throw that time on the run by Dom Lulo. And they'll actually give him an extra yard up to the 49-yard line. It's a 1st down. As I said, Lulo coming in, has completed 50% of his passes. And the fact that he has the ability to both run and throw makes him dual threat as he will go on the ground and breaking a tackle's Locher running to his right. 1st down and a lot more inside the Pirate 40-yard line, and they'll knock him out of bounds around the 38. Well, everybody was kind of watching the eyes of Lulo there and watching what he was doing. And, he sold that give on that quick hitter to Locher, and Cameron was able to get himself a big gainer to the 36-yard line of the Pirates. So give him 15 yards on that gain. Locher 5'10", but he's 205 pounds. He actually looks like he's a little taller than 5'10". 4 wides, including trips left for the Beavers. 1st and 10 at the Perry 36-yard line. They'll go back to Locher, breaks 1 tackle, runs in the middle of the field, shifts to his left, and takes it down to about the 31 for a gain of 5. Pretty good moves there by Cayman Locher. Started right, shifted back left, and picked up 5. 10:20 to go here in this opening quarter. No score from Alumni Stadium in Perry. Dave DiNatale with you on our WKYC Game of the Week. Happy to have you with us. 2 receivers to each side, pistol formation. Locher stands behind Lulo. It gets the handoff, cuts it in the middle of the field, takes it inside the 25, and he'll get the 1st down for the Beavers down to the Perry 24. Man, nothing fancy here for the Beavers. Good dose of Cayman Locher with a mixture of Lulo throwing the football, and they've been able to move it here in the early going. From the 24, it's a 1st and 10. Lulo wants to throw, looks over the middle, has a man open. Great catch at the 2-yard line and down near the 1. That was a heck of a catch. And I want to say that was Michael Tromba on the catch, but I want to double check. No, it's Jamir Francis. I don't know if it was a 7 or 2. Francis with a heck of a catch, and it's 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. They'll give to Locher. He'll go up the gut and take it inside for the touchdown. Impressive opening drive for the Riverside Beavers, capped off by a 2-yard touchdown run by Cayman Locher. That is his 3rd touchdown of the season. I'll tell you, the 2 completions that Dom Lulo made on that drive, one to get the 1st down to Stevens and the other one to Francis to set up the touchdown, they were beautiful strikes. Extra point here for Luke Giffith. 6-0 Beavers with 9:32 to play in this first quarter. And we have a momentary stoppage. And there's an offsides or something on the Pirates, so it moves it a little bit closer here. As Giffith will try it again. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is good. Well, the Beavers go 75 yards in about 2.5 minutes and get the touchdown on the 2-yard run by Locher to grab an early 7-0 lead here at Alumni Stadium. And we'll see if the Pirates come right back and score, then maybe we will have 117 more points tonight between these two teams. We'll see. 63, imagine that, 63-54 with a record-tying 9 touchdown passes in one game. That is ridiculous. And, just kind of hearing from both coaches and their reflections about that game, just still kind of shake heads and say, man, even the Beavers having lost, Dave Boers was still like, wow. He was not knowing at the time what his team was going to do coming out of the blocks, and they exceeded expectations, didn't go on to have the kind of season that they would have wanted, but certainly on opening night, it was nothing short of spectacular. Giffith will kick off here with the Beavers on top 7-0, and 2-man back deep to receive for the Pirates. It'll be caught at about the 7-yard line, and I believe that's Hacking with it. Crosses the 30 and takes it out to the 32, maybe the 33-yard line. Actually, not Hacking on that return. It was Jayden Anderon. And we'll call his number quite a bit as a runner and as a receiver. Anderson last year ran for 1,086 yards and 16 touchdowns, but he caught 51 passes for 883 yards and 11 more scores. So all-purpose wise, you're right about at that 2,000-yard mark with 27 touchdowns. And that's why you're going and playing, for a top-tier program. Now they're going to mark this at the Pirate 33, 1st and 10 coming up here. As Jacob Caldwell has his team set to go. You may actually, you'll have to, we'll flip the camera over maybe when we get a break. There are quite a few midges making their way in front of me here as Caldwell looks right, throws right, passes intercepted, thrown behind one of his men and is intercepted. It is Tromba at the 15, taken to the 10, to the 5. Call it a touchdown to Jamir Francis. Jamir Francis with a pick 6 on a pass that was thrown behind his intended receiver, and Francis able to cut down the left sideline and take it in for the touchdown. Wow, just like that, Riverside tacks on to the lead on the interception return for Jamir Francis. Francis set up the first touchdown with a tremendous catch, and he gets the touchdown on defense with a pick 6. Again, apologies with the uniforms there momentarily. The 2s and 7s couldn't be more closely alike. But the 6'2", 190-pound senior says, yeah, that was me, Jamir Francis. Touchdown with the Beavers. Extra point for Giffith again. Up. Good. And that kind of stuns everyone here in Perry with 9:17 to go in the opening quarter. Riverside with a 14-0 lead on the Locher touchdown run. And then on the first play on offense for Perry, Caldwell intercepted by Francis, who takes it in for 6. And we said, again, Caldwell did not come into the season as the starter. It was Brayden Richards, and they were very happy with what he had done to this point. But that elbow injury has sidelined him, and it's up to Caldwell to carry the load. And, we said the one thing Caldwell just had to make sure he did in the pregame, talking about was just make sure, keep the mistakes down. And he was not accurate on that opening pass and ended up costing the Pirates a touchdown. So we'll see what the Pirates will do here coming back. Now down by 14 here in this opening quarter. We haven't even played 3 minutes. Just a stunning start here for Riverside. Yes. Anderson and Jaylen Anderson and Jayden Anderson both back deep to receive. And this one will be kicked away from the Andersons. One of the up men will pick it up for the Pirates and take it out to the 40-yard line. That's not a bad way to start here for the Pirates. Brian Cox, who will call him as one of the kickers. He's the punter, actually, for the Pirates, in addition to playing as safety. He makes the run back there, and it's 1st and 10 at the 40. I don't think, whether it was going to be Jaylen or Jayden Anderson, I don't think Dave Boers, up 14, wanted anything to do with kicking it to either of them in fear of having a run back. How many times do we see that? A momentum shifts because of a kick return. You'll sacrifice the field position to not give up momentum. Anderson, along with Aiden Lefelhock, stand split in the backfield. They have a momentary delay here. I think they wanted a different football here, and now we're ready to go. Actually, I think they might direct snap to Anderson, and Anderson lost the football as he gets that snap. Back to the 25, and I think Riverside might have recovered. They did. On the second consecutive play from scrimmage for Perry, it's another turnover. As they went to do the direct snap to Jaylen Anderson, ball went through his hands and recovered by the Beavers. I think Henry Bush, the linebacker, made that recovery. Wow. Actually, they'll say, boy, we've called Jamir Francis 3 times now. Francis makes that recovery. Bush was back there as well. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Beavers with 9:09 to go in the opening quarter, already up 14-0. And with a chance to tack on more. Boy, you got an unbelievable start. And give Riverside credit. They've been opportunistic here. Again, out of the pistol, Lulo ready. And he'll go on the ground. Locher's got it, breaks a tackle at the 20, breaks another tackle at the 19, and then put down there for about a gain of 3. Tough running for Cayman Locher. And over on the stop, Jayden Anderson was there. Brian Cox was over there as well. Also give Tyler Croyle credit. 2nd down and 8. 8:40 to go, first quarter. 14-0 Riverside, trying to score again here after the fumble recovery. Lulo will keep it this time. Now we'll throw left side pass, deflected and caught inside the 5-yard line. The catch made by Caden Tinner. It was deflected by one of the Pirates, and Tinner was the very happy recipient of that football. 1st and goal, everything going Riverside's way right now. They'll spot it right at the 5-yard line. I mean, when you get plays like that going for you, I mean, go play the lottery when you're done. From the 5, it's 1st and goal. Lulo claps his hands on the ground. Locher's got it. At the 4, he'll fall to the 3, maybe the 2-yard line, and then finally put down there. Bryce Harper makes the stop for the Pirates. 2nd and goal from the 2 at the left hash. Beavers will stay in the pistol. Locher stands behind Lulo, and he'll get the carry. And before we can run the play, flags all over the place. And that's going to be a false start against the Beavers. 7:46 now to go in this opening quarter. Beavers getting a touchdown run from Locher and a pick 6 by Jamir Francis. And after the fumble recovery by Francis, looking for more. A penalty, though, will move it back to the 7 and make it 2nd and goal from there. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Lulo looks right, throws right past, deflected and almost intercepted by Jayden Anderon. And I got to tell you, if Anderson comes away with that football, he's going 98 yards or so the other way for 6. Dangerous. Jayden Anderon will check in. Brian Cox will check out here on 3rd and goal from the 7 in that Perry secondary. I mean, Jayden Anderon, if he had just been able to square up and make that catch, it was a hard play, but if he could have made it, he had open real estate ahead of him. This time, Locher now will take a step back here. In that hip pocket of Lulo with 2 receivers each side. 3rd and goal, Lulo will keep it at the 5, and he'll be wrestled down by Tyler Coyle right at the 5-yard line to bring up 4th and goal. Pretty good stand by the Pirate defense, all things considered, and Dave Boers will send Luke Giffith in to attempt a short field goal. Already 14-0 Riverside, trying to pick up 3 more after the fumble. This will be put down at the 12, so a 22-yard attempt for Luke Giffith. In a 14-0 score, ball is down, kick is up on its way, and it is good. So 2 turnovers by the Pirates have led to 10 Beaver points, and we're not even halfway through this first quarter. 6:47 in the opening frame. Riverside leading it now 17-0. And, you know, good stand from Perry by the defense after the fumble. And you like the call by Dave Boers there. You know, how many coaches will we see, you know, at 4th and goal from the 5? Let's go. Let's try to get a touchdown. You know, knowing that every point counts, doesn't want to leave 3 points on the field. With this Perry offense and their ability to come back and strike, and made the smart move there and ends up still getting 3 points out of it after the fumble recovery. But this is a, you know, Dave Boers, you couldn't have scripted a better start for your team on the road here in Perry. Griffith ready to go here as he'll approach the football. The Andersons both back deep to receive it. Again, they will kick it away from Jayden and Jalen, and one of the up men will grab it at the 25, take it out to the 30, cross the 30, near the 32-yard line. That was Aiden Lepelhock, who I believe was the one who took it back. Yeah. So Lepelhock, who we will see as one of the running backs along with Jayden Anderon on that return. They'll spot it at the Pirate 34-yard line. Mateo Aguri-Shaw, Brandon Mason are the wide receivers. Jayden Anderson's the tight end. And then you've got Evan Foro, Jimmy Calburn, Joey Conroy, Ryan Howerton, and Jacob Marjack tackle to tackle on the Perry offensive line. On first down, Anderson gets the carry at the 35, and he's upended at the 36-yard line. And Jamir Francis, who's having a first quarter that has been insanely good to this point, makes the tackle. Francis has set up a touchdown with a catch. He has taken an interception back for a touchdown, recovered a fumble, and for good measure, he gets a tackle. 2nd and 8. They'll run out of the pistol this time. Caldwell in that short shotgun, and Lepelhock stands behind him. They'll go to Anderson, a quick flare left side, and it's incomplete. Pass thrown a little too high there for Jalen. And when I say Anderson, I meant Jalen there. I'm sorry. And it sets up 3rd and 8. Yeah, trying to get the ball to Jayden Anderon as much as they can in space is a good idea. But that time, Caldwell just kind of rushed that pass a little bit. So for the junior quarterback, he's going to look at a 3rd and 8 now. Perry does not want to have a 3 and out. Here's a blitz. Caldwell gets away from it. Flag goes down for a face mask. Caldwell going to run. He'll take it out to the 41-yard line. But somebody came in for Riverside trying to tackle Caldwell and tackle him by the face mask, and the officials were right there to see it. So this is going to be the first down of the game for the Pirates. It'll come via the penalty. The officials will converse. At least that's everything I saw from down here. We haven't gotten the official. Okay, there's the indication. Yeah, there it is. Personal foul, face mask against the Beavers. And this is going to move the football all the way into Riverside territory at the Beavers' 45-yard line. Well, maybe that'll kind of settle everything down here for the Pirates, who in the first 6 minutes and 2 seconds of this first quarter have had everything go against them. 2 turnovers. And Riverside's offense also with a 75-yard touchdown drive amongst everything else. Caldwell, a little flip over to Anderson, and he is going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Almost like an option play that time, but it didn't fool the Beavers at all. Yes. Nick Tekovic amongst those back on the tackle. We haven't given you the Riverside starters on defense yet. That's how quickly this first quarter has gone here in terms of turnovers by the Perry offense, and the Riverside defense getting advantage of it. Loss of 3. Caldwell on 2nd and long, rolls right, throws, and the pass is dropped at the 40-yard line at the 35. Make it to Jayden Anderon, the tight end. He was open too, and he knows he should have made that catch. 3rd and 13, and teammates coming over here and telling Jayden to shake it off. He'll have other opportunities tonight, believe me. It's funny, Anderson, he had a near interception on that last sequence down in the near the end zone for Riverside. Sooner or later, you get enough opportunities with his talent, you make plays. And we've got movement along the lines, and I think this one is going to be a false start against Perry. It is. So instead of 3rd and 13, already tough enough, it's going to be 3rd and 18. And it's now back into Perry territory at the Pirate 47. 1 step forward, about 2.5 steps back here for Perry after they get that first down. High snap for Caldwell on 3rd and 18. Rolls right, throws right, and incomplete. Brandon Mason was the closest Pirate to the football, but really a tough order there on 3rd and 18, and it's incomplete. And we'll see Brian Cox, I believe, in to punt the football. Yeah, there's Cox. With 5:16 to go in this opening quarter, 17-0 Riverside. Late Pirate checking into the game. Let's see, I don't think we have play clock visible for us here, so. Pirates do get it off in time as Cox looked like it went off the side of his foot, but it got a favorable bounce inside the 25, and they'll mark it out of bounds somewhere around the 22 or 23-yard line. 22, I think, is going to be the call, and it will be a 1st and 10 for the Beavers from that point. Yeah, the one thing talking to Perry's people here as we got here, the stadium really does get a lot of wind coming off of Lake Erie, and just kind of the way it's shaped. It's a north-south. So it does play havoc sometimes with kickers and punters. If we see balls flutter tonight, that's kind of the reason why. Lulo ready to go on 1st and 10, and he'll keep it off of that snap. He'll run to his right, gets to the 25, cuts inside to the 30, and close to the first down marker. He goes out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Pretty nice moves in the open field by quarterback Dom Lulo. And he gets about 9 on 1st down. Ball at the right hash with 5:03 to play in a Riverside-dominated first quarter. 17-0 the Beavers on top. Brock Savan made the tackle, or ran Lulo out of bounds to be more precise. 2nd and 1 from the Riverside 31. So go to Locher, and on a second effort, he'll move the pile ahead, get the first down as he crosses the 35 out to the 36. A lot of room initially for Cayman Locher, but he's kind of kept his patience there and followed behind that big offensive line. And the pile got moved forward, actually out to the 37, so give Locher about 6 on that gain. Actually, check that. That was not Locher. That was Tromba on the carry. Dominic Tromba, a 6 foot, 195-pound junior. He's carried it 17 times this year. And Tromba will stay in the game. And they may have drawn Perry offsides. Yeah, they did. Just kind of an extra little cadence that time for Dom Lulo. And I think one of the linebackers for the Pirates got a little greedy. It's sometimes you just, everything kind of goes against you here for a quarter, and you just sit there and you go, God, something's got to turn here to get us back to normal. I mean, the Pirates have had 2 turnovers, a couple of penalties, drop passes. Just kind of need to wake up a little bit here as Lulo will take the direct snap. He'll run to his right, get the first down on that 2nd and 5, or actually it was 1st and 5, and he'll take it near midfield. Nothing really fancy here in terms of what the Pirates are doing, but making it successful here, although this one, stand by. I didn't see a flag, but there was a flag down over on the far side, and this one is going to go against Riverside, so holding against the Beavers. That was probably the reason why Lulo had so much success running to his right. So that will move it back to the 39 of Riverside. Now it's going to be a first down again. This time it'll be 1st and 8. Remember, 10 yards from the spot, so it was 1st and 5. And we're almost back to where we started from, almost. 2 receivers on each side. As Lulo will go on the ground. No, he'll keep it. Did a good job selling the fake, and he was able to move it out to the 45-yard line for a gain of 6. Set up a 2nd and 2. Yeah, everybody thinking he was going to hand the ball off, and did a good job selling that fake. I think Abbott Asal was the one who was in the backfield. He was. And everybody was kind of reading him instead of reading the quarterback. 2nd and 2 for the Beavers at their own 45. Lulo to throw. All kinds of time. Fires deep, and he overshot his intended receiver at about the 32-yard line. Landon Curdiff was the intended receiver. Didn't even see him on the depth chart, but he had an opportunity there. Curdiff, a 6 foot, 155-pound senior. And it sets up 3rd and 2 for the Beavers. As Lulo gets the snap, runs right, and did not get to the first down marker. Pirates did a good job stuffing that play. As Jayden Anderon and Colin Koenig combine on the stop, it's 4th and 1 for Riverside at their own 46. For the moment, Dave Boris says, let's go for it. Let's see maybe if they might try to draw Perry off sides. They were successful doing that earlier. Now, Lulo's the punter, and actually he's going to backpedal now and go into the punt formation. Gets that snap, angles the punt right, and it's going to bounce inside the 15, and actually took a Perry bounce forward from the 11 to about the 12-yard line, and it is marked down at that spot. So the Pirates able to get a stop on the defensive side, and that'll get the offense back on the field. They'll start, though, deep in their own territory at about their own 11 with 2:38 to go in this first quarter. Riverside leading it 17-0. As Caldwell will put Jayden Anderon to his right in the shotgun. Jayden Anderon goes over in the slot left. 3 wide receivers. Caldwell pulls out the snap, tried to throw to Jayden Anderon, and it's incomplete in heavy traffic. Dangerous pass, and it was almost picked. Although I think Jayden thought he was held there as he was trying to break away. 2nd down and 10. Anderson, talking Jayden, will go slot right. So they'll go 3 wide receivers. Jayden Anderon is in a tight end to the right on 2nd and 10. Leffelhock is the lone man in the backfield. And he will get the carry and nowhere to go. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Dominic Tromba made the tackle with 2:20 to go here in this first quarter. It'll be 3rd and 10. Also, Matt Watson gets credited for the tackle. Got to watch him in these situations as they'll go on the right side. Making that catch is Brandon Mason on the wide receiver screen, but he cannot break away from the Beavers. As Anderson is put down, or I'm sorry, I should say Mason is put down at the line of scrimmage. And if anything, he may have actually lost a little bit there, and it sets up 4th down. He did. Back to the 10. I mean, as impressive as the Beavers have been on offense tonight, I mean, their defense has gotten a couple of turnovers and just not allowed Perry to get any kind of momentum here in the early going. As Brady McKnight in single safety awaits for the punt at his own 45-yard line. Actually, make that the Pirate 45. He'll call for the fair catch and backpedal, and he'll make the catch at about the Perry 48-yard line. I mean, another good field position start to this drive for the Beavers. 1:17 to go in the opening quarter. Riverside 17, Perry nothing. Not remotely what we expected to see here to start this football game. Beavers getting 10 of the 17 points off of turnovers, including a pick 6 by Jamir Francis, and Francis with a fumble recovery that set up a field goal. Cayman Locher has also run for a 2-yard score as well here for the Beavers. From the 48 of Perry, it's a 1st down on the ground. As I believe that's Locher across the 45 and down near the 41-yard line. Good surge on 1st down for Cayman Locher. Jeffrey Harris on the tackle as we are under a minute to go in the first quarter. Gain of close to 8 on 1st down for Locher. Boy, he could do that. That makes Lulo so much more dangerous when you have these short yardage opportunities. They'll go trips right out of the pistol, 2nd and 2. Fake the Locher. Lulo keeps it. Nice little spin move for the 1st down as he falls forward to about the 36. Got about 4 on that pickup. Jeffrey Harris fell on him to make sure he was going to stay down. Harris, 5'8", but he's 270 pounds. Big senior. Clock stops for the moment here to move the chains. Now here it gets wound up again. Probably could be the last play of this first quarter. That has been dominated here by the Beavers. Locher gets the carry. He'll run inside the 35 and be pulled down at about the 32-yard line. Again, Jeffrey Harris involved in the tackle. And that, I believe, is going to be the final play of this first quarter. A first quarter that was completely dominated by the Riverside Beavers. 12 minutes in the books. Here in Perry, it's Riverside 17 and Perry nothing. Tyler Carey back with us here after being on news duty last week. TC, let me put my earbuds in so I can hear you. What else is happening around high school football tonight, TC? Anything as shocking as what I've seen here in the first 12 minutes?
Yes, certainly a surprise to see. I think we expected points, but certainly not as one-sided as it is so far. Not much going on right now. A couple of games going on within the same conference. 7-0 Orange currently leading Independence in the first quarter. West Geauga and Geneva also playing. That game is scoreless, as are Villa Angela, St. Joseph, and Chagrin Falls, both in the first quarter. Some of the bigger games we are looking at tonight: Menor leads St. Edward 7-0. That game is in the second quarter in Lake County. Hoban and Benedictine are scoreless. Euclid and Cleveland Heights are scoreless, both in the first quarter. And one big one that we're certainly keeping an eye on: Kenston leads Chardon 6-0. That game also in the first quarter, Dino.
All right, TC, thank you so much. As we go back to action here in the give, I believe that might be Trauma inside the 30 and down to about the 20, inside the 20, down to the 19 to the 18-yard line. I'll tell you what, that was one of the games we were considering this week. TC mentioning that Kenston Chardon game. And that was Trauma on the carry, by the way. We absolutely, that game has been unbelievably good the last couple of years. Trauma gets the big gainer there, as that ball now at the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 there to start this second quarter. Lulo in that short shotgun. We'll finish the thought about Kenston in a second as they go to Tromba, and he'll take it to the 16, and then Jayden Anderon says no further as he pushes him back. Got some help from Leomi Simono there on the stop. They actually give Tromba forward progress to the 15. But give him about 2 there. We were at Kenston, not that far away, 2 years ago, and Chardon came in and executed one of the best game-winning drives that we've seen since we started doing the games of the week. And the Hilltoppers knocked off Kenston that night at Bomber Stadium. On 2nd and 8, Lulo to throw over the middle. Pass is caught. Touchdown. The Beavers continue to strike James Bruno with the touchdown catch from 15 yards out. Just a quick hitter, and Lulo threw it a little bit behind Bruno, but Bruno, with that ability to catch the football in traffic, catches his 2nd touchdown of the season. And Riverside continues to pile on the points here. They now lead at 23-0 with 10:39 to go in the first half. Extra point for Giffith is up, and it is good. Riverside 24, Perry nothing. Early in this second quarter. For Dom Lulo, that is his 5th touchdown pass of the season. And with the running game working as well as it has to this point here for the Beavers, it's making Lulo's job a lot easier. And when he's had to throw, he hit Francis to set up a touchdown. And that was Riverside's first touchdown of the game. And then that scoring pass now to James Bruno. But anyway, just finishing the thought about Chardon and Kenston. That loss to Chardon 2 years ago, I'm firmly convinced Kenston does not go on to win the Division III state championship without that game. It really refocused Jeff Grubich and company, and they went on an incredible tear en route to winning the state championship down in Canton. And meanwhile, Chardon just continues to be one of the best programs, not just in this part of the area, but of all Northeast Ohio. Is again a short kick by Giffith, and it's broken through. Mason's got it at the 40 to the 45, 50, down the right sideline to the 40. One-man debate. Mason will score. Touchdown, Perry Pirates. Well, you hear it in front of us how loud it was. The noisemakers. It's a home field advantage, especially when you get a run back like that. As Brandon Mason, not one of the returners in the deep in the backfield, they kicked it away from the Andersons, but Mason ends up springing one to the outside, and he takes it in for the touchdown, exactly what Perry needed. with 10:25 to go in the first half. They are on the scoreboard. Calvin Rowan for the extra point. He is 10 for 10 so far this season. Make it 11 for 11. 10:25 again to play first half. And Perry on the board. They trail Riverside 24-7. But for the first time tonight, the crowd here, a smaller percentage, of course, with COVID-19, but this great crowd here and this great fan base of Perry has something to cheer about as they got on the board on the Mason touchdown. But we said it earlier, that was why you don't kick it, despite having the big lead, to Jayden Anderon, or even Jayden Anderon for that matter, because you don't want something like that to happen to you, which could shift the momentum. And certainly the problem is if you're Perry, you sit there and you go, or if you're Riverside, okay, well, I can't kick it to number 1. I can't kick it to number 2. Now I can't kick it to 10. And I can't kick it to Level Hawk, who's in there. Who do I kick it to? Maybe I just kick it out of bounds. But that is exactly what the Pirates needed there. As we'll see McKnight and Stevens back deep to receive for the Beavers. As the kick will go to McKnight at the 11. He'll follow his blocks to the 20, tries to spring it to the outside, and he'll be cut down at about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. But you can feel, though, much different vibe now on the home side after the touchdown run on the kick return by Brandon Mason. So Beavers back on the offensive side of things with a 17-point lead. And their bread and butter tonight has been setting things up with Locher and Tromba and letting Lulo just kind of follow in their path. Lulo will have 2 receivers to each side. And on first down, they'll go jet sweep. I believe that is Bruno, and Bruno is going to be brought down for a loss back at about the 22-yard line. Desmond Malone coming in from his safety spot, helping to lead the charge. Tommy Jackson in there as well. I said, you start with that touchdown by Mason, and all of a sudden now you feel like the momentum starting to go to the home team here. And in addition to the loss, there was also a holding penalty against Riverside. So they're really going to be marching in reverse here. So now they'll spot it at the 14 of the Beavers and make it 1st and 25. Lulo will go on the ground. I believe that's Aberdonis getting the carry across the 20 and out to about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. And even that's got to be frustrating, though. Even when you know they're going to run it on 1st and 25, you still get about 9 on that run. 9 yards on the gain, 2nd and 16. Still a large hole, though, for the Beavers to climb out of. This time they're going to Locher, who's going to be in there. He'll cross the 20, took out an official in the legs. The official's okay. And Locher goes to the 30, and we've got a late flag. Penalty is against the Pirates. Remember, I mean, Riverside had to get to the 39 to get a first down after that holding penalty and the loss on the run to Bruno. And I didn't see what the signal on the call was, but it's going to be a personal foul after Locher was tackled. You get the late hit, and you move it now to the 46-yard line, and the Beavers are out of the hole. And suddenly now it gets a little quieter here at Alumni Stadium after that momentum surge. So fresh set of downs for Riverside at their own 46. As Lulo fakes the handoff, rolls right, throws deep, has a man open, passes, caught at the 15, at the 10, 5, and touchdown Riverside. And this time it was Michael Tromba on the touchdown catch. I wanted to make sure it wasn't Jamir Francis and make sure I called the right young man on the touchdown. It's Michael Tromba on the TD catch with 9:04 to go here in the first half. 30-7 Riverside. Second touchdown of the game for Dominic Lulo. That one from 54 yards. Extra point is up, but we've got whistles. And keep in mind, this all happened thanks in large part to that personal foul penalty, that self-inflicted wound that Perry committed to get the Beavers out of the hole. Because at one point it was 1st and 25 for Riverside at their own 11. And just like that, you get the first down out to the 46, and then Lulo hits Michael Tromba for the touchdown. Oh, why we had the stoppage there. Here's the extra point. It is up, and it is good. Luke Giffith having a good night with a field goal and 4 extra points. And the Beavers back up by 24 again, 31-7 with 9:04 to go in the first half. I mean, they went 71 yards. You might have heard the PA announcer. They went 71 yards. That's exactly right because of where the drive started. But it almost feels like they went, 89 yards because of the penalty. And yet, Riverside able to overcome the holding penalty and that 1st and 25. They got 2 runs to get them decent field position. You get the penalty tacked on. And then before you could breathe, Lulo hit Tromba for the 54-yard touchdown pass. And now, see what Perry comes up with here. Down 24. As again, another squib kick. And it will be fielded this time by Leffelhock, and there will be no run back for a touchdown. He'll be brought down at about the 32-yard line. More of that, I think, will be what Dave Moores will be wanting for the rest of the game in terms of kickoffs. Week number 3 of our WKYC Game of the Week here in Lake County. Starting to see some clouds rolling in here, but don't expect any kind of precipitation in the forecast. Just back-to-back great nights of weather on Fridays here for us after we had a monsoon in week 1 across the area, including our game down in Aurora. From the shotgun, Caldwell. I think he was going to try and delay it. Now he throws right side, and it's incomplete. That looked like a miscommunication there. Caldwell thought he was going to do a delay, and there was nobody home for him to give the football to, so he just threw it away. Ryan Hafer was about to sack him. Hafer's got 2 sacks this year. Matt Watson already has 3 sacks on that defensive line and 8 tackles for loss. And Nick Messenger has 3 TFLs and 1 sack. One of the better defensive lines you'll see anywhere in the area. 2nd and 10 now for the Pirates at their own 32. They trail 31-7 with 8:56 to go in the second quarter as they'll go to Anderson on the ground. And Jalen will move the pile forward for a couple to the 34. That sets up a 3rd and 8. That's part of the problem tonight here, Perry, is that they've fallen behind so early in the game. I mean, at one point you couldn't breathe, and it was you took 2 breaths, and it was 17-0. And yeah, there's plenty of time in the game, but Jayden Anderon becomes a little less of a weapon because you're not going to throw it nearly as much. They're going to try to throw it to him outside to the 35. Jayden cuts to the 39-yard line, just shy of the 40. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the first down. And Matt Rosati, as much as I think he would like to go for it here, will send the punt team in. Wyatt Wonderly made the tackle. He said, you don't run it as much as you do now. You have to throw it to Jayden. But, of course, the Beavers know that, and they're going to key on him, especially in the flat. And a timeout taken by the Pirates, as you had a late man checking in on special teams. But Matt Rosati may sit there and ponder again if he wants to maybe go for it here. So they'll use that timeout here to think about it. 7:39 to go, first half. Riverside leading it 31-7, as they were the beneficiaries in the first quarter of a pair of Perry turnovers. Jamir Francis involved in both of them. He had a pick 6 for a touchdown, and Francis also recovered a fumble that set up a field goal. And since that 17-0 lead, we've seen a pair of Dom Lulo touchdown passes for Riverside, sandwiching around a Brandon Mason kick return for a touchdown for Perry. For the moment, Perry's going to punt it again, as Cox waits the snap. Brady McKnight in single safety at his own 27-yard line. Cox ready, gets the snap, and gets the kick away. McKnight will let it go. It'll bounce inside the 25, inside the 20, and roll to a stop inside the 19 at the 18-yard line of the Riverside Beavers. That's where they will begin this possession with 7:26 to go in this first half. You expect to see a lot of things. This is not one. If you had told me at this point, it's 7:26 to go in the first half, that we might have one of the two teams tonight with 31 points, I don't know if I would be that surprised, but the fact that it's a 24-point lead is very much a surprise. So the Beavers will begin inside their own 20, leading it here by 24 points. And they'll go on the ground. And again, it's Bruno getting it from the wing, and he'll take it forward to about the 20-yard line. So give him about a yard and a half, second and long. But at this point, the Beavers will just want to continue to grind it out the way they have behind this offensive line and continue to move chains and give Perry less and less of an opportunity to gnaw into the lead. 2nd and 8, and they'll throw right. Pass intercepted. Going in for the touchdown on the Perry Pirates. On the pick 6, it's Brayden Richard. Well, we have seen 2 interception returns for touchdowns tonight, one from each team. And that one was Richard stepping in front of the intended receiver and having nobody in front of him for the touchdown. (31-13), Riverside leads Perry as the Pirates will kick the extra point. Just remember that moment. That might be a pivotal time in this football game here as the extra point is up. And it is good. Dalvin Rowan hits that extra point. 6:44 to play, first half. Riverside 31, Perry 14. Pirates getting their touchdowns on a kick return and an interception return. Brayden Richards really Was the right man at the right time. Read the eyes of Lulo beautifully on that interception. Second time this year that Lulo has been picked.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call the
So on the
your home
takeaway giveaway chart tonight, Riverside is still +1, but the turnovers tonight have all been, from a scoring perspective, costly for the opposing team. A pair of pick sixes, one for each team, and a fumble that led to a field goal. As we go back to work here, McKnight will catch this kick at the 10, runs to the middle, tries to get to the outside left, and he'll be pulled down at the 23. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Beavers at that spot. Nathan Smith made the tackle on special teams. Oh, what a wild first half here at Alumni Stadium. 31-14 Riverside with the lead, and they've got the football back. Tromba and Stevens will go out wide to the right. And we'll move one receiver left, two in the backfield on the shotgun with Lulo on 1st and 10. Low snap, able to pick it up and hands the ball to Bruno, and Bruno with a full head of steam runs left to the 50, out to the 45, to the 40, cuts into the 35, still on his feet, and finally pulled down at about the 25-yard line. Boy, just when you thought that he was down, James Bruno kept his feet chopping and found a little bit of daylight and sprung himself for a huge gainer all the way down to the Perry 24. What a circus of big plays here in this second quarter. And quickly now, Riverside with trips right, set up now near the red zone. On the ground, Locher gets the carry. Now Lulo keeps it, and he'll run to the 21-yard line. Everybody, including Jeffrey Harris, bought that give, and Lulo was able to spring it forward for about 3, maybe 4 on the read option. Jeffrey Harris really slammed Locher down. And I thought Locher had gotten the carry, too. It was well sold by Lulo. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Now at the Perry 20-yard line. Caden Tinner out wide left. Trips right, including Bruno. Lulo will position Locher first to his right, now to his left. 2nd and 6 now for Riverside. And Locher gets the carry inside the 20, spins to about the 17, and brought down there. So a hard-fought 3 yards. They may give him an extra yard there to the 16. I think they will. And it will be 3rd and 2. Brian Cox, Javin Richards on the tackle. And it's now 3rd and 2 for the Beavers. 5 minutes and counting to play in the second quarter. From the Pirates' 16-yard line. In motion, Stevens. They'll go on the ground, and I believe that's Tromba getting the carry inside the 10, and Dominic Tromba will take it down to the 9. It'll be 1st and goal there. Mark it at the 9. It'll be 1st and goal there. Colin Koenig made the tackle. 31-14 Riverside. This is kind of what we thought we'd see. Back and forth. Not one team up by 17. That's kind of the way things have gone here tonight. Yeah, Perry's goes without saying here, but Perry really needs another defensive stand here. As they'll go on, fake to McKnight. Lulo will keep it inside the 5, and he'll take it forward to about the 3, maybe the 2-yard line to bring up 2nd and goal. Pretty good fake that time again by Lulo. He sells those read options well. As Jeffrey Harris will check back in on that defensive line. You want him on these short yardage situations, certainly. 2nd and goal at the 2. Both Tromba and I believe that's Locher to the right of Lulo. 2nd and goal on the ground. It's Tromba. Cuts left in for the touchdown. Dominic Tromba, his first touchdown of the season. And Riverside now with a 37-14 lead with 3:45 to go in the second quarter. Each of the Trombas with touchdowns here in the second quarter for Riverside. Michael has a touchdown catch. Dominic with a touchdown run. That one from 2 yards out. Again, credit James Bruno, as here's the extra point. It is up, and it is good. Giffith now, there's a flag down here. Giffith momentarily was 5 for 5. I think the extra point is still good. We'll check on the flag. Yeah, they'll say extra point good. 38-14. With 3:45 to play here in the first half. And this conference, the officials, to determine what we have here, and usually in these situations might be some kind of an unsportsmanlike or something like that. Wait and see. No, personal foul, roughing the kicker.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder, fans from
And,
all schools, please remember that all sections are required to follow state requirements for your own health and safety, as well as the safety of
would
others.
imagine we'll see.
You are wearing a face covering at all times, and that you
Let's see where they mark this off here. They may have just declined this. Although you know they didn't. Hey, I was going to say, they've got to be marking this at the 45. There they are, Perry. Okay. So this will be a much easier kick here for Luke Giffith. Well, this is the, you want one way to keep it away from Anderson or Mason or one of the other dangerous men on the Perry special teams. Get yourself 15 yards and try to kick it out of the end zone. That's not a bad. That's exactly what's going to happen. Kick will sail into the end zone for the touchback. Yeah, that's probably your best bet to keep somebody from taking it back for a touchdown. Although I don't think that's how Matt Rosati would have wanted that sequence to play itself out. 38-14 Riverside with 3:45 to go. The Pirates do have 2 timeouts remaining here, so plenty of time. Try to get something before halftime. And remember, Perry would also start the second half with the football as well. But you just kind of have to think about this, got to win the next 3 minutes, got to win the next drive here, and you can't try to skip 24 here right away. You got a long way to go in this one. Momentary stoppage here. Officials, I think, might be wanting to get a new football. Let's see. Maybe not. All right. Looks like we're ready to go. Touchback will put it at the Perry 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Pirates. As they'll send Mason in motion, give it to him on the jet sweep, and he is in trouble back at the 15 and swarmed down by the Beavers at the 16-yard line. Now, Matt Watson was the first to get back into the backfield, and he slowed up Mason enough for his teammates to come in and help him out. Brady McKnight was in there. I think Dominic Tromba was in there. Good gang tackling by the Beavers. 2nd and 14. Perry's touchdowns tonight have come via the kick return and a pick 6 as Caldwell looks left, throws. Richards with the catch, 1st down to the 35-yard line and out to about the 37. And as he was being brought down, the football came out, but officials make the right call and say ball is down at the 37. That's a gain of 20 and a 1st down. That might be the first down for Perry via offense tonight. They gotten a couple of 1st downs, I think, from penalties, but I'm not sure in the first half that they've gotten an offensive 1st down. They do now. And they'll go to Anderson on the ground off of the shotgun snap. And Not much room for Jaylen to run that time, as he'll squeeze out about a yard to the 39. Yeah, 1 yard to the 38 is more accurate. Second down and 9 from there. 2:32 to go here before halftime. At halftime, we'll get a look at the Perry Marching Band. Remember, halftime's a little shortened this year because of COVID, as Caldwell will throw right. Pass is incomplete. Kind of sailed it a little bit for Levelhawk. And even if Aiden catches that ball, wouldn't have gotten a whole heck of a lot out of it anyway. It sets up a 3rd and 9. Now, for Riverside, they do have all their timeouts remaining. So keep that in mind here if Perry can't execute this 3rd down and 9. From the 38, here's Caldwell to throw on 3rd and 9. Shoots one deep over the middle and overshot his intended receiver, Jayden Anderon, who had gotten a step on his man. Caldwell just let him a little too much, and it sets up a 4th down. So that will be 4th down, and we'll see Brian Cox in to punt it once again to Brady McKnight. Yeah, so much of this game, you look at it, it's 38-14, but this game would look a lot closer and feel, I think, a lot closer as Cox gets the snap and gets the kick away. And this is his best punt of the night. It'll go inside the 25, inside the 20, and roll to a stop near the 16-yard line. That's a fine effort by Brian Cox. The Riverside 10 points on the Perry turnovers from the first half. You know, it's 28-14. It might feel a lot different in this game, but you know, the Beavers, if anything tonight, they have been opportunistic and they have taken advantage of every turnover, every penalty, every fortunate break they've gotten, and they have executed well. And really, the 2 mistakes tonight have been the Lulo interception by Richards that was taken for the score and a kick return for a touchdown by Mason. Other than that, it's been, especially I think for Riverside's defense tonight, for Dave Boers and company, it's been a pretty letter perfect here to this point. With just over 2 minutes to play in the half, Lulo on 1st down will keep it. Pirates not buying it, and they'll pull him down for about a 1-yard gain. Bryce Harper from his end spot amongst those on the tackle. Actually, no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Riverside does not look like they're in a really big hurry here, up 24 with about a minute and a half to go. As they gave Lulo about a half yard or so. It's a 2nd down and a long 9. As they'll go on the ground, and Lulo will cross the 30 and take it out to the 35-yard line. He's kind of had everybody thinking he was going up the gut and pivoted right and got a nice surge for about a gain of 16 to the 34-yard line. He is so quick in open space. Brian Cox amongst those on the tackle. Rebnick also was there as well. 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. Riverside up 38-14 with the football at their own 34, trying to do a gadget, and the ball is fumbled away, and Lulo's got to eat it at about the 21-yard line. Looks like they were about to try a reverse, and maybe a reverse pass, and ball popped away, and very fortunate for Riverside that Perry didn't pounce on it. That surprised me a little bit, the way kind of Riverside had executed so well. You thought maybe they would just been content to go into the locker room here, but they thought maybe they could catch Perry napping and try something there before halftime. Down to 13 seconds, and Beavers will spend. Well, no, they don't have to. I thought they were going to have to take a timeout here before that, but they won't have to. That'll do it for the end of the first half. First half dominated by the Beavers of Riverside as we go to the locker rooms, and Riverside in command 38-14. I'm going to try and hook up the crowd mic here as we get you to halftime and let you enjoy the halftime bands here with us. We had to do a little bit of maneuvering here before halftime with our equipment here, but let you enjoy the marching band here. I saw them. They were out, not to give you a little bit of a preview, but they were out practicing as I arrived here earlier this afternoon, and they have a little queen here for us at halftime, which is always good. All right. Enjoy it, everybody. We'll be back with you here and get you ready for the second half in just a few moments.
And now, presenting our show featuring music from Queens, please welcome the Perry High School Marching Band.
As I said on the air, I expect a lot of things tonight.
We begin our show with a song that was released by Queen in 1979 on their album Jazz. Don't Stop Me Now had a rebirth of popularity around 2004 with its appearance in the cult zombie film Shaun of the Dead. In 2014, readers of Rolling Stone magazine voted it their third favorite song by Queen. We hope you enjoy Don't Stop Me Now. 4 consecutive weeks. The style is vintage rockabilly and is loved by many, including our drill team. Here is Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
Yeah, that's why I'm sitting there going, it ain't over yet.
Well, our green show is coming to an end. But first, we offer a song that is perhaps one of the Bohemian Rhapsody was one of the first songs of its time, written as a 6-minute rock opera suite consisting of distinct sections of varying characters. The song is featured on the recent movie of the same title released in 2018, which tells the inside story of Freddie Mercury's life. We hope to bring it on home with Bohemian Rhapsody.
And it's funny you mentioned, like, one of the things that never gets talked about is Charlie Manuel with that offense. Yeah, they had a bunch of Hall of Famers, yes, they did. Well, yeah, they had the right guy. That's it. Manny Ramirez was the right. I mean, he had the same with Tony, and I think Charlie got more out of like Paul Sorrento than anybody else. Yeah, and he got the record right at the end of it. Right. We're trying to do everything. Just go out there and slam the bases. Hey, listen, we got help with that, but you don't have to do that anymore. I love the way that guy's working there. Walking the largest strike zone I've ever seen in a World Series game. Yes, it sounds like sour grapes. Yeah. I want to go back and watch that game 6 because it still drives me crazy. Yeah, you never know. That's the human element to it. Was somebody going at it, or was Adam just standing back there and those were looking good to him on that night? Who knows? That's where they talk about getting into this with the center and the ball and stuff. Yeah. I don't have reasons. No, I don't have reasons. I
we have this little ball league all the time in the summer, and we play with it's got to be the original with the ball. If we put like an Adirondack chair, that's so it doesn't matter how you.
Oh, that's amazing.
It doesn't matter how you hit the chair. If you hit the chair, it's a strike. So you can bend it behind somebody's back and hit the damn chair. Right. If it goes through the arm of the chair, I'm sorry about your luck. Yes, right down the middle, right up until the end. We have this little one-on-one with the ball.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, man, my shoulder doesn't like it anymore. My pitches are real slow.
Yeah, 2 speeds, slow.
Yeah, we used to get pretty crazy with that stuff, throwing risers.
Oh, absolutely.
You
got
to. I'm only good for 1 minute. But it's fun stuff. But I think about that.
Noah's not playing, that's what it is. Noah's not playing this year, that's what we're doing.
The Mary High School Marching Band is under the direction of Brad Russell. Great marching really strong and encouraged by endeavors.
All right, we welcome everybody back here to the booth at Alumni Stadium. Dave DiNatale with you here at the half. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of Queen there from the Perry Marching Band. As we told you, we might get a little bit of that little Bohemian Rhapsody to wrap it up. And a nice job there done by the members of the Perry Marching Band. On the field, a first half that, thanks to turnovers, Riverside was able to get out early and sustain the edge, and they lead Perry 38-14 as we get ready to start the second half. In a few moments, we may or may not get a Tyler Carey update. Tyler doing like 20 different things for us here because that's what TC does. But we will tell you that, there's TC. All I had to do was I feel like I just had to shine the bat signal and, he pops up. That's all I had to do. Just go, hello, Tyler. Tyler, are you there? TC, you join us here at halftime. Curious, especially, we talked on Wednesday about that Hoban-Benedictine game and how good is Hoban? Could they continue to sustain that start? And what about St. Edward after that tough loss, having to go right into Menor, not far from where we are tonight in Perry? Curious to hear those scores.
Well, as far as Hoban goes, I think it would always be tough to top a 35-0 blowout against St. Edward, but a bit of a surprise at halftime in Cleveland. The Knights lead Benedictine just 24-17. So the Bengals hanging around in that game, that would be a massive upset if they could somehow come back and get the victory. As for St. Edward, they are responding pretty well, you would imagine, up 13-10 on the Cardinals in the third quarter over in Lake County. So two really, really nice matchups going on right there. Elsewhere in the Chagrin Valley Conference, of course, the conference of Riverside and Perry, Geneva and West Geauga, the Wolverines just tied it up. It's now 7-7 in the third quarter. Orange leads Independence 13-7. That game is also in the third quarter. Chagrin Falls leads Villa Angela St. Joseph. That's 14-7 at halftime. Chardon leading Kenston 21-6. That is also at halftime. And one more, Euclid is up on Cleveland Heights 13-7. That game also at intermission. So a lot of very, very close games tonight, Dino. You really can't predict anything right now.
No, it's like when we think we know something, we know nothing. TC, thank you so much, my man. We'll catch you a little later on here as we get ready to start the second half. As we flip our video here, make sure the state doesn't get mad at me for having any coverage here. And we are set to go. 38-14 Riverside on top as we start the second half, and the Beavers will kick it off to start the second half. Pirates getting one of their 2 touchdowns from a kick return here. It looked like they were going to try a little reverse here, but this is going to be run back. I think that was Desmond Malone, one of the up men, because, again, they're going to kick it away from the Andersons, and Malone took it back to about the 39-yard line. Well, I can't imagine what that halftime must have been for Matt Rosati. We have a long way to go. This is a team that certainly has shown the ability, even with injuries, to put points on the board. I think probably the message is first and foremost, wake up. Too many self-inflicted wounds tonight with the penalties and the turnovers, and even things like drop passes. On the ground, Anderson gets the carry to his left. Nice little sidestep, and I think he gets his best run of the night, actually, as Jalen will take it out near the 45-yard line. Got close to 6 on first down. Actually, mark him just shy of the 45. One of his better efforts tonight. Anderson came in averaging 8 yards per carry, but something, you have to put some of it on the score here, but as they'll fake to Anderson, passes incomplete. They were looking, I believe, in the direction of Mateo Aguri-Shaw, and there's a flag down. That's a pass interference. I said the pass was in the direction of Aguri-Shaw. Well, part of the problem was there was a collision there as before the ball arrived, and officials calling that interference. The Riverside faithful not liking that call, but it will be a first down for the Pirates, and it'll get them into Beaver territory. So good start here, thanks in large part to that penalty, but quickly now, Pirates have it at the Riverside 41. Shotgun here. Caldwell looks to throw. Lofts one deep in the middle, and it's intercepted. Intercepted at about the 15-yard line. Simon White comes away with the pick. Trying to get it to Jayden Anderson, and just kind of, as I said, kind of floated it over there. It was a nicely thrown ball, but White had a chance to kind of run under it and get the pick. That is the third turnover of the football game for the Pirates. And again, just when you think that maybe you have something that can get Perry rolling here, something like that pops up, and Riverside back on offense. They lead it 38-14. As on the ground on first down at the 15 out to about the 18-yard line. I believe that was the third running back of the night. Yeah, Abadustal, the ball carrier. And he gets 4. Second down and 6. Abadustal's gotten some run tonight, as has Cayman Locher and Dominic Tromba. Abadustal will stay in there, standing behind Lulo, out of the pistol. And Abadustal gets the carry. He gets the first down, crosses the 25, and out near the 30-yard line. And we've got an injured Perry Pirate. Somebody on his knees at about the 28-yard line. I remember seeing, we were at Riverside a couple of years ago, This is Jalil Abdustar. I think his older brother was one of the starter running backs 2 years ago. And Jalil, pretty impressive on his first couple of carries here of the second half. 10:34 to play, third quarter. Riverside 38, Perry 14. Did not see who the injured Pirate was, being tended to by a couple of trainers, and I think Matt Rosati has gone out to make sure his player is okay as well. And it's Brian Cox. Cox, one of the safeties, one of the defensive backs on this team. He's also the punter. Officials will wind the clock back up, and that first down run has the football now for the Beavers at their own 30. Riverside in command, 38-14. And the third straight carry, it's Abdustar getting it. This time, Pirates do a good job stringing that out for a gain of 1. So I'll give Jalil 2 on the gain. Second down and 8. But that's the thing I think that's stood out the most tonight watching Riverside as they're ready here on second down and 8. One, Dave Boer's team has, I think, more depth than they've had the last couple of years. This time, Lulo will fake it and keep it himself. And out of that read option, he'll take it out to the 39 for a gain of 7. Going to be about a yard short of the first down. You know, you've got 3 different guys that can tote the football and do it well. Locher and Tromba already have touchdowns tonight, and Abdustar has looked good here on this drive. You know, we've seen James Bruno catch a touchdown. Michael Tromba has caught a touchdown. Jamir Francis has set up a touchdown as a receiver. You still have Stevens, Tinner, McKnight. There's a lot more weapons. As on third down, Abdustar gets the carry, gets the first down, then he got to upend it at the 41-yard line. But he got that forward surge, and he gets the first down. And I think they will credit Jayden Anderon on the tackle. And it's a first down for the Beavers. The other thing that stands out is watching Riverside tonight. Their defense has been all over the place. They have forced 3 turnovers as Lulo will keep the shotgun snap run to his right and claw out about 2, maybe 3 yards out to the 44-yard line. They have not let Jayden Anderon get any kind of running room tonight. Whether as just giving it to him in handoffs or when the Pirates have tried to throw some screens, just anything to get him in space, and there has been no space for Jayden Anderon tonight. The game plan on defense has been tremendous. 2nd and 7 for the Beavers. Locher's back in there, gets the carry. Actually, no, take that back. And Lulo faked it to Locher. Everybody thought he was going to run it, then tried to throw a little bubble screen to Mason Stevens, and it was incomplete. And it was very close, by the by, to being a lateral. So I apologize there. Good ball handling by Dom. But I think he might have been better off giving the ball to Locher. So it's 3rd and 7. Yeah, Lulo really, his agility and his speed stand out to you certainly the most when you watch him tonight as he's ready to go here. And somebody for Perry got a little antsy on the defensive line and just gave the Beavers a gift 5 yards. So instead of 3rd and 7, it's now 3rd and 2. And those are the self-inflicted wounds that are going to be as hard as anything tomorrow for Coach Rosati and his staff to show the players. You know, Riverside has played very well tonight, no doubt, in this 38-14 lead, but those types of mistakes, preventable, correctable, self-inflicted mistakes, have been a big part of tonight's game. On 3rd and 2, they'll go to Locher with a full head of steam. First down, crosses the 45, and takes it down to the Perry 44-yard line. Gain of 5 on 3rd and 2, and it's a first down for Cayman Locher. Yeah, this has been a night that you talk about winning the line of scrimmage. Riverside, both sides of the ball, but I just think watching, their offensive line really has been superb tonight. The running backs and Lulo have all been able to find open spaces. Locher gets the carry, runs to his right, and gets that full head of steam, gets it right near the first down marker inside the 35-yard line of the Pirates. This will depend on the spot, but see, and that's another thing to watch because of the depth with Dominic Tromba and, in this case, Jalil Abadustar earlier in this drive. Cayman Locher is running with an extra set of juice there. It looks like just got a little extra giddy up there because he's been rested and had a full head of steam on these last 2 carries. Got 8 on first down, 2nd and 2. Lulo will go back to Locher, gets the first down as he'll plunge ahead to the 30-yard line, and 5 more for Cayman Locher. But again, you watch this and you sit there and you say, Watson, Hafer, Yowell, Messenger, and Sy have done a tremendous job on that offensive line for the Beavers tonight. So they get the first down on that 2nd and 2, and 5 more for Locher. With under 6 minutes to go, Riverside leading at 38-14 in the 3rd quarter. Trying to tack on more. Lulo gets that short snap and goes to Abadustar, who's back in there, and he'll cross the 15 down the 20 down to the 15-yard line. Abadustar's moving that pile so quickly I couldn't keep up with where he was. Inside the 20-yard line and spotted near the 15. About 15 for Jalil Abadustar. After the interception by Simon White, it's been pretty much all running plays. I think they tried that bubble screen, but other than that, it's been Abadustar, Locher, and Lulo. And they have just chewed up yards and chewed up clock on this drive. Lulo ready. And this time he'll go on a give to Bruno to his right inside the 10, and James Bruno will have the Beavers set up at the 4-yard line for a 1st and goal. Bruno has been a terror tonight running the ball, and he has also caught a touchdown. And it'll be 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. As the Beavers will set up now. I think that both now Abadustar and Locher in the backfield with quarterback Dom Lulo from the 4. 1st and goal on the ground. And the Beavers will move it forward to about the 2. I believe Abadustar was the ball carrier. And he'll get 2 there out to about, actually they're only going to give him 1. 2nd and goal from there. But as fast as we saw a lot of quick drives and quick scores in the first half. This has been a long, sustained drive for the Beavers. Abadustar will try to run to his right. Did he get across the pylon? Yes. Touchdown, Beavers. Abadustar from 3 yards out. It's his first touchdown of the season. And Riverside pouring it on now, lead at 44-14 with 4:03 to go in the 3rd quarter. Jalil Abedustar with a terrific drive. He did a lot of the work along with Cayman Locher to get that touchdown. Giffith for the extra point. Ball is down. The kick is up. It's blocked. Kick blocked by the Pirates. I think that was Colin Koenig who cut in there and blocked that kick. And Javin Richards was in there too. And I think they're going to actually give Richards credit. But you have both those players back in there on the play, and it will be still a 44-14 Riverside advantage with 4:03 to go in the third quarter. I was thinking about that score Tyler Carey had mentioned. Hoban leading Benedictine 24-17 at the break. You know, that's Ronnie Schultz and that just tremendous Bengal offense that we saw a couple times last year. Saw them up at NDCL, and then not again just down the road from where we are, and then we saw them in the playoffs in that epic battle against Brecksville. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if somewhere down the line those two teams wouldn't meet again in the playoffs. But to this point, the fact that the Bengals have been able to put some points on the board the way they have against Hoban, it's pretty impressive. After Hoban pitched a 35-0 shutout last week against St. Ed's. Here it's Riverside as they'll squib kick it. It is picked up at about the 30, out to the 35, and now back to the 33-yard line. I think they were going to try a little pitch there. Desmond Malone will be brought down there. Malone looked like he wanted to kind of lateral it back to somebody, but thought better of it, and it'll be a 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Well, these are the situations now, if you're Perry, you're thinking about weeks 4, 5, and 6, and try to end. You've got 15 more minutes in this football game. Try to execute here and get something going on the offensive side. Jayden Anderon will run to his right, has some room to the 40, and gets shoved out of bounds at the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. Be short of the first down as we're under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Anderson gets 8 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 2. Jayden Anderon, tight end on the right. And you've got almost like a bunch formation now on the right side. 2nd and short, fake to Anderson. Caldwell rolling with time. Throws, incomplete. Thrown between two men, he had Jayden hacking down the field at the 45 of the Beavers, but I think it was Jayden Anderon, the intended receiver, that he overshot. And it'll be 3rd and 3. Jacob Caldwell just never has been comfortable tonight. And a lot of that really has to be credited to the Beaver defense. Again, if you're just joining us, Brayden Richards, the starter this season at quarterback for the first 2 games, is on 3rd down and short. Anderson will get the carry, swings left side, gets the first down to the 50. Flag down as Anderson goes out of bounds around the 40-yard line of the Beavers. And the shame of that, it's going to be holding on Perry. The shame of it is it happened after Anderson had really turned the corner and had gotten at least the first down. So that'll negate what would have been Jayden Anderson's best run of the night and keep it at a 3rd down. 10 yards from the spot is going to move the football to the Perry 38. So it'll be 3rd and about 6. So that's if there's really no silver lining on a penalty like that, but at least it's not like you have to go 3rd and 16. On 3rd and 6, Caldwell rolls right, throws right, incomplete, trying to throw it to Aiden Lefelhock, his running back, who's being covered on the play by Brady McKnight. And I think Matt Rosati on 4th down will go ahead and just on 4th and 6. Let's see, is he going to keep the offense on the field? I think he is. Okay. At this point, why not? 44-14. And Perry now will go for it on a 4th and 6. Got to get to the 44-yard line to keep this drive going from the 38. Anderson will run right, tries to bounce to the outside and gets the first down, breaks a tackle at the 50-yard line, shows some of those Division I skills as he's pushed out of bounds at that particular point. But it's that ability not just to run it wide, but have that extra move and the acceleration to get you that first down. Ball will be spotted now at the 48 of the Beavers, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. 12 minutes to play here at Alumni Stadium in Perry. Your score after 3, it's Riverside 44 and Perry 14. Two teams will switch sides. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Pirates when we resume action. Riverside started this game by scoring the first 24 points and got 10 of those 24 thanks to penalties, or make their turnovers, I should say, a pick 6 and a fumble recovery that set up a field goal, and really never looked back from that point. 1st and 10 as we start the fourth quarter. Caldwell, delayed blitz, rolling right. He'll tuck and run and take it out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. Got about 2 yards on that scramble. We said early on, it's not Jacob Caldwell's forte necessarily to be a running quarterback. He throws the football pretty well. But that was the one thing, and we started talking about this earlier. If you're just joining us, Brayden Richard is a freshman quarterback who had played the first 2 games. He's out with an elbow injury. Caldwell will set up a screen, and the pass is incomplete to Leffelhock. And Leffelhock probably will look back and say, yeah, I probably should have caught it, but it was thrown a little bit out in front of him, not where he expected it. And it sets up a 3rd and 7. Richards had impressed everybody. Talk about Brayden Richards with his ability as a freshman, how quickly he grasped this offense and was able to really get it moving in the first couple weeks. And also the fact that how, in addition to being a good throwing quarterback, how well he was able to run it. Caldwell will set up the screen, pass caught, Anderson at the 40, first down 35, and put down at the 30-yard line. That's a nice job by Jacob Caldwell to stand tall in the face of pressure, and that was Jayden Anderon who gets the catch in the first down inside the 30 at the Beaver 29-yard line. We've said this is, if you're able to get a touchdown and get some scores here, at some point you're able to, at the very least, and TC is going to check in here, so we'll get an update here from him in a second here, Tyler, let me get my earbuds on as Caldwell fires over the middle, and it's incomplete for Leffelhock at about the 21-yard line. TC, we're under 10 minutes to go here. What else is happening around the area?
But, I apologize for the delay. Menor has retaken the lead over St. Edward. That is now 24-21 in the fourth quarter over in Lake County. Hoban still leads Benedictine. It is 24-17 in the third quarter. Hoban is driving at the moment, so we'll see what can happen in that one. Chardon now leads Kenston 34-6 in the third quarter down in Geauga County. And we'll get one more for you here as West Geauga and Geneva remain tied at 7. That game is now still in the third quarter, Dino.
Well, I tell you what, Mitch Mitch Hewitt and the Hilltoppers. That's to go to Bomber Stadium and do that to Kenston. And I realize Kenston's, graduated a lot of talented players, but that's impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, this is it's one of those statement wins, and especially after the nail biters they had the last couple of years, I think that this is certainly one that they're going to look at and say, all right, we can compete with the big boys. We can go in and maybe win a state championship. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? TC, we'll catch you in postgame, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dino.
While we were away there and getting those updates from TC, Jacob Caldwell was sacked by Nick Tekovic on 3rd and long, and it sets up now a 4th and 17 for the Pirates. The ball is back at the Riverside 36, so you got to get to the 19-yard line to keep this drive going. Caldwell, delayed blitz, in trouble, down he goes. This time Ryan Hafer got him. Back-to-back sacks by the Beaver defense will stop the drive cold in its tracks and give the football back to Riverside. And we said coming into this thing, so many things about Riverside were impressive. Their defensive line certainly is very impressive. Hafer with his 2nd sack of the season. Tekovic got his 2nd sack of the season from his linebacker spot a moment ago. Watson and Messenger eat up a lot of space. This has been a impressive night for Dave Boers' team, offensively and certainly defensively. The offense back on the field now. It's 7:38 to go, and on 1st down, it's going to be a loss of a couple as Abadustar was put down. Back at, I'm going to mark this here, at let's see what the official spot here. There's a flag down. That's why the officials weren't sure where they were going to mark it down. That penalty is going to be against Riverside. Let's see what the indication was. One would assume it's holding. Yeah, so that penalty will move it back to about the 28-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 20, 1st 21, 1st 22, give or take. All right, Lulo ready. Trips to his right. On 1st and very long, will keep it. He'll sidestep a couple of would-be tacklers, cross the 35, get back the yard is lost. And most of it anyway, and get it back to the 36. And there's another injured Perry Pirate. About 8, though, on that pickup on 1st down for Lulo. And concern is for the injured Perry player. Although I'm wondering where with the way they're looking at it, it may be a cramp situation. Thinking about, and I got a nice tweet from Jake Charette. We were over last week in Brunswick, and he had, played so brilliantly in that game, and it looked like he was on his way to another touchdown, and ended up being taken off the field, and we had that 15-minute or so delay, and Jake ended up being taken to a local hospital. But, for his leg injury, but, was tweeting and really appreciated his communities getting behind him and rallying behind him. And that was as touching as anything else, just to see the amount of, I think I used it on Twitter, charismatic, because teammates, nobody wants to see a player get hurt. I mean, and the young man for Perry, I said I was wondering if it might be a cramp because I thought they were stretching out his right leg, but there's an extra trainer, I think, that's coming on the field. So hang on a second, Dr. DiNatale, I am not. But just to see as Charette was being tended to and being put on the cart, just the emotion from the Brunswick football players. was pretty amazing. And you just realized, how important their teammate was to them and meant to them, how much that injury had affected them. And they went out and still finished the game in what turned out to be a nail biter down at Brunswick Auto Mart Stadium. And Brunswick ended up getting the win and their first win of the year. But when you talk about in this season that's been, so dominated by things that have happened off the field because of COVID-19, and you say, okay, what stands out to you through the first half of this regular season? The images of the Blue Devil football team rallying behind their teammate will be something that I think we're all going to remember from this 2020 season. Right now, our thoughts are with the young man for the Perry Pirates, who has been down. Helmet is off now for a couple of moments, and now both teams have gone to one knee in salute for the young man. 6:28 to go in the fourth quarter. Riverside 44, Perry 14. Just joining us. This is again not what we expected. 44 points. We did not expect to be a score for one of the two teams. We did not expect what we turned out to see tonight. And Riverside took the opening kickoff, went 75 yards for a touchdown by Cayman Locher, and led 7-0. And then on Perry's first offensive play on the ensuing possession, Jamir Francis intercepted Jacob Caldwell and took that pick six back for a touchdown. And quickly it was 14-0. And 2.5 minutes had barely gone by in the game. And then on Perry's very next offensive play, you had a fumble that was recovered by Jamir Francis. It set up a field goal, and we weren't even halfway into the first quarter, and all of a sudden, the score had ballooned to 17-0 in favor of Riverside. The injured player is on his feet. It's Jeffrey Harris, the big 270-pound senior, and he is walking off the field under his own power, so that is certainly a good sign. Helmet is off. And Matt Rosati walks with him and gives him a big pop on his shoulder pads, so it's good to see that Jeffrey's okay. The trainers will take a look at him on the sideline. As we resume here after the break in the action, Lulo is ready. Claps his hands as he will send a man in motion, and it will be a give. I think that's McKnight on the end around. He's going to be put down back at about the 35-yard line. Yeah, it was indeed McKnight. And Colin Koenig really gave him a good shot for a loss of about 3 on the play. Actually give it a loss of 4 on that TFL, and it'll be second down. I'm sorry, make it third down and 14. Man, Perry just never really able to get jump started after being in that 17-0 hole. As on third and long, there's a new quarterback in the game, by the way. We'll tell you about him in a second. And so let's go on the ground. And so fourth down will come in. And I apologize. The roster, it's Cameron Simpson is now your quarterback. This roster, you can see it here. It looks like basically a coach's play card and about as hard to read. That's one nice thing about Zoom. You can see what I see here, folks. So I couldn't really do it. Simpson is now your quarterback. It's fourth down and 12. And Riverside, at this moment, doesn't look like they're going to punt. They may change their mind here. But they're right now, yep. And Simpson, in fact, will do what Lulo does and drift back for the punt. That makes sense. Known Dave Boers too long. It's not the way he operates. Low snap, and Simpson's going to have to eat the football at the 30-yard line. Just kind of took a skip on the field turf, and Simpson had to pounce on it, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Perry at the Riverside 30-yard line with 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Beavers 44, Pirates 14. At one point, Riverside led 24-0. Perry a couple of times got that deficit to within 17. Got a Jamir Richards pick 6 and also a Mason kick return for a touchdown. But every time you thought maybe they had momentum, it was seized back very quickly as the Pirates will go on the ground on first down. Running to his right, Lefelhock will take it down to about the 29-yard line. Very little running room that time. As we go under 4 minutes to play here in this football game. Halfway through, and when we're done tonight, the regular season. Remember, this 6-game regular season, then the postseason will be underway. Everybody's eligible here in 2020. We'll let you know on Wednesday where we are going to be. As Caldwell on second down throws, pass is caught at the 21 to the 20-yard line. Gary Shaw on the catch. It's his 3rd reception of the year. And let's see, they're going to mark him about a yard shy of the first down. So give Gary Shaw about 9 on that gain, and it'll be 3rd and 1. About where I was this time a week ago, I can tell you we have something we hope will materialize for next week's game. That would be awesome. As on 3rd down and 1, the give is to Lefelhock, and this is going to depend on the spot. He had to maybe, yeah, I think they're saying still a little bit shy there. So 4th and inches here for the Pirates. Obviously, they'll go for it. Caldwell with Lefelhock to his left. And on 4th down, they'll give. It's Mason on the end around, and he'll get the first down. Little jet sweep inside the 20-yard line out to about the 16. I think that was Tekovic who might have tripped him up there. As we approach 2 minutes to go here in this football game. And again, I think Matt Rosati really would like to see, for his confidence, Jacob Caldwell get this offense into the end zone. As they'll do another jet sweep. This time it is Jayden Hacking. As a flag goes down, Hacking will go down inside the 10-yard line. Again, where that flag was thrown, it would give one belief that we'll have a holding penalty coming up. But yeah, I think one of the big takeaways tonight, you think about things from a CVC, Chagrin Valley Conference perspective. Riverside had a very good night, and Chardon has had a very good night. And oh, by the way, those two teams are going to meet next week. So you talk, and that was not our scheduled game, by the way. As Caldwell looks towards the end zone, there's a collision there, no flag and no completion. It's incomplete. Was trying to loft it to a Gary Shaw, and Shaw was being double covered there. But yeah, that Chardon Riverside game will be awfully fun next week. We haven't seen Chardon yet this year, but Riverside with a very, very impressive performance this season thus far, and certainly what they've done here tonight in Perry. Second down and 20 after that penalty. We're under a minute to go. Caldwell shuffles it out to Lefelhock, and he'll be brought down. Actually, no, I'm take that back. It wasn't Lefelhock. It was Shaw, I guess, on the catch. And put down at about the 21-yard line. 3rd and 16, and Pirates will have a couple more shots here before the end of the game. We'll see if they elect to try a deeper one here. 30 seconds to go. 3rd and 16. Caldwell sets up a middle screen pass, caught at the 20, 15. Lefelhock at the 10, still on his feet to the 5, and he'll take it inside the 5 down to about the 3 with 15 seconds to go. The clock, I think, would stop to move the chains. Nope, still, clock is still moving. 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. They'll go Lefelhock on the carry, and he'll be brought down shy of the goal line. That is going to be the football game tonight. Riverside exacts revenge after last year's shootout loss to Perry. They come to Alumni Stadium and beat the Pirates tonight 44-14. Riverside now a perfect 3-0 as they will get set to deal with Chardon next Friday night, while Perry will drop now to 2-1. Two teams who, again, with COVID-19, cannot shake hands after the game. They salute each other, helmets off. Matt Rosati and Dave Boers, you know, they're trying to keep distancing. Matt and Dave, I think they've known each other long enough. I think they put the masks on and went over to see each other. That's respect of two coaches that have been at this game for a long time and have a tremendous level of respect for each other. So COVID-19 be darned, we're going to go in and shake, at least see each other for a second, because we've seen earlier this year, Aurora and Brecksville and Brunswick and Medina coaches just kind of saluted each other, but that was kind of cool. So now is the Beavers make their way out of here, and they'll head back to Painesville, and we'll see Perry. Matt Rosati will talk to his team on the field. And one thing they've been really adamant about here tonight and all season long, they've said, hey, look, game ends. We want everybody out of here. Let's, the us in the media, we can maybe get a chance to get a quick word with a coach or something, but, they want players out of here. They want the fans out of here, keep everything safe. And that's been one of the reasons why we've been able to, I think, be pretty successful here in these first couple of weeks of high school football. I mean, we've had cases of COVID certainly, but for the most part, we've been able to keep things safe and be able to play. And yeah, talking to the AD here at Perry, and I think most ADs thought this too. All you wanted was a shot to have a season, and here we are. Things have been thrown together at the last minute and trying to figure out a way to play these games and have bands and cheerleaders and have some sense of normalcy. And we've been able to do it, amazingly enough. So Tyler Carey is with us here as we start to wrap things up here from Perry. And TC, I can't wait to hear the scores in a second, but strong message tonight, I think, we'll get to Chardon in a second, but Riverside tonight really offensively and defensively played a superb ball game.
Absolutely, Dino. I mean, we knew, and I have to owe them an apology because I said, I think I would lean toward Perry in this game. I think you said this earlier, we thought that there'd be some scoring, but I don't think any of us expected 44-14.
No.
And for them to just come out and lay the hammer down instantly with the touchdown on the first drive, and then the pick six, and then the turnover by Anderson, who they really kept in check all night. Riverside is now a team that squads in Division II are going to have to keep an eye on. This was a team that went 4-6 last year, but they had a lot of nail biters against some very good teams. And when you go out and beat a team like the Perry Pirates, who coming into tonight, remember, had a 21-game winning streak in the regular season, to beat them on the road by 30 points, well, D2 now has a new contender. And I will be anxious to see how they do next week. I believe you said they're playing Chardon. Yes. How they do in that contest next week, that's going to be one heck of a matchup between two heavyweights.
Well, I think the band in front of me is about to play the alma mater. It's a perfect opportunity for you to update us on how we are in the scoreboard around Northeast Ohio tonight in high school football.
Well, I just mentioned Chardon. They have now opened up a 37-6 lead on Kenston in the third quarter. Again, a major departure from those nail biters that went down to the very last play in the past couple of years. St. Edward has now taken a 28-24 lead on Menor in the fourth quarter, just minutes remaining in that one. We're trying to get the Hoban score. We'll have that in a couple of minutes for you. Oh, we do have it right here. It is now 31-17 Hoban over Benedictine in the fourth quarter in Cleveland. That, I think, a little bit closer than we had expected, but you certainly have to give Benedictine credit for hanging in there. Euclid leads Cleveland Heights. That game is 27-7 in the fourth quarter. Orange has lost to Independence. Independence came back and won that game. 21-13 is the final in that one. And we'll get you one more here at least. Chagrin Falls still up on Villa Angela St. Joseph. As far as we can tell, it is still 14-7. That is a home game, of course, for the Tigers in an out-of-conference matchup.
All right, TC. Well, that's going to do it for us here. Halfway through the 2020 crazy odd high school football season, partner. I'm, you know what? As I said as we started, I'm just happy we've been able to be here and have some semblance of normalcy. It hasn't been, exactly what we've seen in the past, but man, it's been fun. It's still a game, and to watch these kids go out there and do what they do is still pretty sensational.
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, just listening to the game, listening to even just the band and the cheerleaders in the background, really just gives you that easy feeling of, okay, this is how things are supposed to be. Not quite how we would like them to be. We would, of course, love for that stadium to be packed with fans and students and everyone else. But to just hear the sounds of football, to hear the atmosphere of a Northeast Ohio high school football game certainly helps us cope, if only for just a little bit. And I'm excited to see how it's going to finish up the last 3 weeks of the regular season and, of course, on into the playoffs.
Absolutely. All right, Tyler, as always, you'll keep the site updated, and scores will be popping in at WKYC.com and on the app. Don't forget about the app. We always say, don't forget about the app. You'll get your scores of your favorite team all throughout the night and into tomorrow as well. And partner, I'll see you Wednesday for our preview show, and back here next Friday.
Can't wait, Dino. Have a good night.
All right, you too. And we thank everybody. This is one of the great venues in Northeast Ohio that maybe you haven't heard of before. Do yourself a favor. Come, we are back to playing normal football, and crowds are able to get back out here. Make sure you come out here to Alumni Stadium and come see the people here at Perry. They are wonderful hosts here. And this is one of the nicer venues you'll find anywhere, and some of the nicest people you'll find anywhere as well. But all said and done, Dave Boers and his Riverside Beavers come away with the win tonight here in Perry as they beat the Pirates 44-14. For Tyler Carey, for Brian Crane, you don't see him, but he's the man behind all of this, and he also puts together the string of highlights that we'll have later for you tonight on our YouTube page, on Twitter as well, and on Instagram. So we always want to salute Brian, and we salute you, the fans, for joining us as you do each and every week. I'm Dave DiNatale. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Again, one time, your final. Riverside 44 and Perry 14. Have a great night, everyone.